Now, I want to address what I would consider the most common argument, because I brought this up on LinkedIn before too. I said, "Hey, what would you guys think about this thing?" And their answer was from some people. Again, it's not a scientific sample or any of that kind of stuff, but you know, I only get paid every week or every other week. The driver should learn to budget better. Well, fine. You can decide that your drivers just aren't good enough with money, but that's not really how it is. Yeah, maybe they should be better with their budgeting. Maybe they should change their spending habits. But that's not the part you can control. You can control how often they get paid. And if you pay them more often, man, that retention is going to go through the roof, because if they're used to being paid twice a week and then they start looking for another job and that other job only pays them once a week, they're going to be like, man, I don't know. That's like going from weekly to every other week. It's just a whole change in life. And I'll tell you too, the client that was paying twice a week, their retention was almost zero, because who's going to leave them? I'm getting paid Tuesdays and Fridays. So, you really want to consider that, because, it's just the driver retention part. Whether you think they should have it or not isn't really the issue. They've got their own problems. They've got a kid who needs something for school unexpectedly, or they've got, their house, their water heater went out or something like that. So if you decide that you want to pay twice a week, it does take some doing. You have to have your payroll process be pretty locked in how you have your cutoff dates and things like that. But it can work. But if you get that done, the results you're going to get are your retention's going to improve, your recruiting's going to get easier, your complaints are going to drop, and the amount you have to advance to drivers, because you're advancing them every week, just about. If you've got more than 5 drivers, you're probably advancing somebody. Those are going to drop too, because they're not going to need it, because they're getting paid the day after tomorrow at the work. So you really make your life easier too. It's not just about the drivers. And I understand that your position of, well, drivers should be better at managing their money, but they're still calling you about it. So you're already involved and you can make your own life easier.